2, 1.
Oh my gosh, that was so epic.
I think that's it.
There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there!
600!
600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. That would be just. So here we are, back with the real Supercharger. Okay, we are on the test track.
So I'd recommend putting your head on the headrest.
Okay.
There he's ready. Nope.
Yep. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that never gets old either. We have the post-study production cars here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, you watch it.
Well, why is he gonna throw it?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Just use a sledgehammer. What?
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
I'm Eric, otherwise known as Derek, here in Shanghai at Gigafactory 3.
Ballapalooza. It's like tricks.
3, 2, 1.
Will it wipe is the big question of the day.
Will it wipe?
Generic cornflakes.
Whoa! It's raining cornflakes! Oh. This is trippy. Look, there's nothing here.
Good evening, everyone. I am David, and this is Eric, and together we're Derek, and we are going to talk to you tonight about the latest in Tesla news and what's going on. We're going to be able to answer your questions that you might have as well after we go over some of that initial news. It's been another exciting week for Tesla. A few things going on. There was an announcement, I guess, that Tesla will be holding a delivery event for the new refreshed Model S coming up, what, June 3rd?
Yes, June 3rd. So we don't know, is this going to be like an invite-only thing? Is it going to only be for people that have ordered a Plaid Model S with Fremont delivery? We haven't heard anything. Really.
No details yet. You know, in the past, we were able to attend the Model 3 delivery event when they delivered those first, was it 60 Model 3s back in like the summer of 2017. But all we've heard so far, all anybody has heard so far is that there's an event on June 3rd. So we haven't heard of anybody receiving invites, whether they're local or around the world. But we will definitely keep you informed if we do receive an invite for that. Because as you know, or may not know, we do have orders in for a Model S Plaid Plus, a Model S Long Range, and a Model X. But this is the Model S Plaid Delivery event, which is the one that we don't have an order for.
And just real quick, we're having a couple of people say we need to buckle up for safety.
Oh yes, thank you for the reminder.
So literally that's like all the chat.
I got to move up to the front chair. We did a live stream there on Wednesday when we did the F-150 Lightning Ford live stream, and I got to sit up there. So I'm not used to sitting back here it's been a couple weeks since we've been back here, but thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. So super excited about the Plaid Delivery. There's actually a firm date. We don't know what exactly has been the holdup for all this. Could it have been chip shortages? Potentially. Could it have been some interior trim pieces weren't fitting quite right and they needed them refitted and retooled? Potentially. There's so many things that it could have been, but Tesla's been pretty quiet throughout all this.
It could be software as well. And
exactly, because I guess talking about software, there are 10,000. I have actually
something like 10,000 produced vehicles.
Yes, Model 3 and Y.
Sitting on lots waiting for delivery, but they can't be delivered because they are missing some part that can be installed in the field.
Yeah, so someone here on Twitter, Tesla Adri, actually said this. My guess, Tesla doesn't have enough radar units, and the mentioned software update is the Purevision Autopilot update. Now, this is all just speculative, but they saw this on Reddit. Someone who's waiting to take delivery of their car has been pushed back, and then they kind of spelled it out that they received a call from their sales advisor, and basically they were shipping cars without VIN numbers, but what they mean by that is they weren't
not assigned to people. Yeah,
they did have them, they just weren't assigned.
Yeah.
There's some confusion on that on Twitter. They do have VINs, just not assigned to people.
Yes, because the VIN exists on the car in multiple pieces
locations.
Etched in many places.
And here it says they're doing this because there are about 10,000 cars that are requiring a firmware update. So to avoid shipping delays, they're pushing cars out now. In my case, our cars are here in Orlando. However, they cannot release them until they're able to do the update. Once the update is pushed, the VINs will automatically be assigned to everybody, and we'll have 3 days to pick up the vehicle. Yada, 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 yada. Anyway, though, it kind of makes sense when you think about that, because there's been a lot of talk about Tesla getting rid of the radar. But to do so, you have to have Purevision at a certain state, we'll say.
Yeah, and I would be surprised, though, that they would stop producing cars with radar before they had the software ready, because if it takes 6 months, you can't just stop delivering cars for 6 months, and you don't want to have several thousand out there and then start installing it again, like, oh wait, we messed up, we can start installing again. So hopefully we don't know if it's radar, but that's what some people are saying it could be. And
it kind of does make sense, like if there was a shortage with the radars and Tesla had been working toward this Purevision, they were like, okay, just ship them out, we'll just software update them, because that's easy. And we've seen the same thing with Ford. They have thousands upon thousands of F-150s sitting in it was like some stadium parking lot.
Yeah, in like Tennessee or something like that.
All over the place, though, that are waiting chips that they just haven't been able to get. And rather than stop the whole line, they built all these cars, and once the chips come in, they can plug them in, make sure everything's working right, and ship them off.
Yes.
So, I mean, I agree with Tesla that they're doing it this way, but this kind of tells me the delay for the Model S was different.
Yeah, and
because if it was just one piece, they would have just shipped them out and just shipped the pieces.
Same way, yeah.
Exactly.
We didn't see Model S's being produced until the last couple of weeks, even though they originally announced it back at the end of January, and they were saying they were going to originally be releasing those mid-February. We've seen that now they're running about 4 months behind. And, but in the last few weeks, people have seen that Model S refresh has been showing up in the parking lot. There was some speculation saying that the Model S with the white interior was going to be delayed, but we did see recently that they do have white interiors, so it's not a black versus white interior that's delaying things.
Yeah, but I guess on that note, our long range that we have on order has had a dash for delivery date, then it disappeared. Then over the weekend, the past couple days actually, the Tesla website's been kind of a mess.
Yeah, they've definitely been releasing
So,
some updates, and so
yeah.
the site's been down a lot, like on Thursday and Friday. But we did see last week, I think, we had a date range for delivery of like June 1st to June 30th.
Yeah.
A lot of people got the date range of June 1st to June 30th, which is not to be surprising because they do try to do those end of quarter pushes. So it sounds like they're going to try to push as many cars as possible out in June. So we're hoping that ours will be coming sometime in June, if not sooner.
I'm hoping for mid-June because it is my birthday, and I would love a new Model S for my birthday. Elon, or people, if you're watching, let's make it happen.
I know we're not fighters like MMA fighters or whatever. It's like, but so we can't just tweet or complain about it and expect to get a loaner Model Y. But
Maybe we'll try. Now, I will say, like, that is a cool situation, and I'm glad Elon was able to help them. But at the same point, like, that kind of help only goes to, like, what would you call, like, the super high up?
it's very
The
high
super
profile.
high profile. There we go.
I
Perfect
mean,
word.
definitely,
High profile.
you know, that's not the, I have no idea. I don't remember who that fighter was. Some
Yeah.
guy famous in the fighting, arena or whatever. But definitely he was interviewed, on national television, and word got around, and so Elon replied to him, and so he helped him out. Basically, they said they had ordered a new Model X, but they had no idea when it was going to be arriving, and he's wanted his pregnant wife, to be in like the safest car possible, and so Elon like hooked him up and got a loaner Model Y to cover them until their X is delivered.
Was it a Y or a 3?
At first I heard 3, but then later I heard Y. So the
Okay.
different stories report different vehicles.
Either way, they have a loaner vehicle, which is cool, but, like, at the same point, there's got to be a lot of other people in that same situation.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were expecting delivery back in February, March,
Same.
and they like traded in their car, they sold their car, and now they're like having to figure out, they might have a spare car they could use, but a lot of people are like, do I need to get a short-term lease? Do I need to do Turo? A lot of people are kind of, trying to figure out what to do while waiting for delivery of their new Model S.
Yeah, because, I mean, we were told about the shutdown, and it was supposed to be, I think they
Like
projected
18
it
days or
18
something,
days.
yeah.
And it was supposed to start up in early January. And here we are 5 months later. So it's been a long one. So I'm not going to lie. I'm expecting a lot from these new refreshed Model S's and eventually the Model X once it starts delivery.
I'm hoping that we'll see some new stuff that hasn't
Unannounced.
been announced yet. Because
Yes.
basically we know it's going to have, at least some cars will have the yoke steering. They're going to not have the stalk for like the shifter or windshield wipers and headlights. They're not, and that's going to be controlled in different ways with buttons on the steering wheel. There's going to have
Not sure how we feel about that yet.
we haven't tested it, but they're also going to have a second screen for the second row passengers. They're going to have like the heat pump now in the Model S refresh and Model X, all kinds of other changes. And of course, the 17-inch horizontal screen versus the 17-inch vertical screen. And so all kinds of changes have been announced, but what hasn't been announced? That's what we're eagerly awaiting.
Yeah. So
That's what that will be announced at that event on June 3rd.
Exactly. And they have tricks up their sleeves. They always do. So whether or not this announcement is going to be the Purevision, maybe. Maybe it'll be some kind of FSD news. Maybe. That'd be nice. It's just been a long, long wait. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe more range, maybe different.
That would be exciting.
They had already announced that they're going to be having like still the 18650 batteries, but they had redesigned the pack and have a different chemistry, and it was going to be an increased range, but for the long range. But it remains to be seen. Maybe something else has happened with the battery. We'll see.
Yeah, but for those of you waiting for a refreshed S or X or even a 3 or Y right now, we feel
A lot of
your
people
pain.
are waiting. Yeah.
A lot of delays. A lot of our friends have ordered cars and they have been delayed. So I guess the way I kind of look at it is the longer we have to wait, hopefully the better the car is by then. Because, they're probably making little iterations and everything. But let's see. Oh, Chris just said, I will say this before leaving. Well, welcome, Chris. Thanks for hanging out. Elon tweets about button V9, V11, June 3rd, all align exactly on the same date. Check the tweets.
Oh, I didn't know he's been tweeting about the button again.
Well, so
the button.
We have been curious about V11 too, and we've been thinking like maybe the V11 software
Was a holdup,
Was
like-
a holdup, but I mean, all this could have actually come from the pandemic situation. If they couldn't get parts and stuff for the original Model S and X, maybe they were like, you know what? Fine, let's just stop production and just move everything over to the refresh. It could have been just terrible timing. That's been happening a lot lately. But, I mean, June 3rd, I have a lot hanging on that.
Yeah.
I have high expectations.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if there's an announcement and we can go, we will go. But if there isn't, maybe they'll do a live stream. Maybe we can live stream it and hang out with each other.
Yeah, but again, they have all these cars, 3s and Ys that have been produced. We know they are still shipping those around the country, so they won't have delays once they do have them at those locations. They can install those parts and do the delivery locally. So they're not going to be having these 10,000 cars just sitting in California, then try to ship them out at the end of the month.
Yeah.
They are distributing them around the country, so you might be seeing those on carriers and stuff. So they're just not going to be delivered yet.
Yeah, and so we can talk a lot about the Refresh SNX kind of a little bit later. I see a lot of you have some really good questions, and I will just comment on Tom's Turbo Garage. So did y'all see the tilt left-right screen text disappeared from the Model S
website? A couple
website?
Weeks ago, yes.
Yeah, so we did actually see that, and I have heard from some people that it has disappeared from the website, but it is still planned for the cars. So maybe they took that wording out because they thought it might be confusing to some people, or
again, it could be a parts shortage.
It could be a
maybe
parts
it's something
shortage on
that's
that.
planned, but they don't have the parts ready for the first batch.
Yeah.
Hopefully those would be retrofitable, because we've seen that in the past where they've released vehicles and you didn't necessarily have what was you were expecting, and
Yeah.
then a month or two later they would do a retrofit on those.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It remains to be seen. The car might be delivered with that slightly tilting screen, so it basically would tilt left or right so that the passenger. Actually, does it tilt up and down as well?
It's just said left to right.
Okay,
I
so
believe.
basically, so the driver
Yeah.
could see a little better, or the passenger.
Yep. But yeah, we'll go ahead and kind of dive into the Refresh SNX and really talk about that at the end. After we finish up our news. But other news, the Roadster was displayed at a museum out in California.
Was it like the Peterson Museum or something?
I
like
believe
that?
so. And there was an interesting sign that actually a lot of people originally missed because, I mean, reading, yikes. With that in front of you, the last thing I want to do is have to read a sign. But that sign says it will be capable of doing 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds with the SpaceX package, which is absolutely ridiculous.
That's more than ludicrous. That's
I don't even know what to call it, because that's not plaid.
that's more than plaid.
That's I don't even know what they will call it. Now, that being said, if we have the option to add the SpaceX package to any of ours, we will certainly do that. And Elon even said that the rear license plate will fold down, and that is where the cold air thruster will be. Now, previously he had mentioned there'll also be a thruster around the four corners so that it can help with handling and stuff like that. I really hope that is the case, because when you're going 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds, you don't have a lot of time to react. You really want that software to be dialed in to make sure you're going straight. But that's just absolutely mind-boggling. And I guess part of me feels like they might just include that on the Founders Series Roadsters, because those are $250,000.
Should be top of the line, yeah.
Which should be top of the line. And as it is, the current Model S Plaid Plus is about $150,000 to $160,000 depending on configuration. That will be able to do 0 to 60 in like 1.9 seconds, I think it was.
Yes.
So they have to do something to really make the Roadster appeal.
Worth that extra $100,000.
Exactly. So my attitude is yeah, the base Roadster at $200K probably not going to include it, but I think the Founder Series might actually include that SpaceX package.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, will you be in the passenger seat and let me do 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds?
I think it would, under certain conditions, yes. Such as
Well,
a closed
true.
course, racetrack, no other traffic, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Then it would be a possibility.
Really?
We're not going to do it like,
So he's never been on the track with me when I've raced a car. None of that. But you heard it here first. Somebody clip it, and we'll play it back if he says no. But I think like that's going to be absolutely wild. And Elon even said it's going to basically be kind of on par with some of like the higher or fastest roller coasters, which I think most roller coasters, like super fast ones, only do it in like 2 or 3 seconds, 0 to 60. So 1 second is just stupid.
Yeah.
So I guess next up, we did the live stream on it this week. The Ford F-150.
Yeah, the F-150 Lightning was unveiled on Wednesday. We did a live stream, went over it. It was interesting, and the pricing was okay. And we actually did a reservation as well, right then, live during the live stream. The reservation, though, we weren't able to choose any specifics. Basically, you're getting put in touch with a local dealership and telling them that you are interested. It says we'll be contacted later this year. But it was an interesting vehicle. The regular battery standard range was like 230 miles, and if you get the extended range, the more expensive version was about 300 miles. It's okay, but if you're going to be towing something, we were both of the opinion that range is not that great if you're going to be towing. Around town, 230 should be fine, 300 should be fine.
Yeah.
And the styling, it looks pretty much like an F-150. It's not really what Rivian or Tesla are doing with their electric vehicles, but it's something I could see if they're trying to expand their existing markets who are buying F-150s. It would be something maybe they'd be interested in, because on the outside, not a lot of difference.
Exactly. There was one image I saw, I forgot to save it, but it showed half the vehicle on like the
Side
left
by side, yeah.
was the normal F-150, and the right side was the Lightning. And besides the light bar in the front, they're basically the same thing. So I really think they're going after their current Ford F-150 owners, which I absolutely love. I love the competition, but when we were talking about it, we were looking at the stats for the F-150 and the stats for the Cybertruck. And when you compare them, a top-of-the-line F-150 Lightning is going to cost you like $90,000. A top-of-the-line Cybertruck with full self-driving is $80,000. But when you look at the mileage, $300 for the Lightning, $500 plus for the Cybertruck, that's, I think, going to be the biggest thing people get hung up on. So you can go more mileage with less money. That seems kind of like a no-brainer, especially considering mileage is the number one thing. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool things in this F-150 Lightning, though. The scale in the... okay, hold on. We're going to do...
Thank you for Mando.
Thank you, Mondo, or Mando X Games, for the $5 dono. Really appreciate that. Said, will you guys view or be at the delivery day event for Model S next month? Hopefully.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. If anything, if it's live streamed, we'll at least do that. And kind of like we've done other live events. So at the very least, we'll do that. But hopefully we can be there in person, because that would be really awesome.
Yeah, and again, we don't know if Tesla's going to have an event where people invited. They did have an event like last year, but everyone was in their vehicles. Was that the Model Y or?
Yeah. No, that was
Oh, the battery day.
Yeah, one of those. So, but yeah, if we can, we certainly will be there. Fingers crossed, though. But yeah, huge thanks for the super chat. So the F-150 does have a lot of really cool features that hopefully the Cybertruck can try to bring over. The scale in the bed, I really dig that. It's kind of a cool feature. The frunk was really nice. I think the 21 or 22 power outlets.
A lot of power outlets all around the vehicle, yes.
I'm really hopeful for that.
And they did announce too, like vehicle to home, which would allow you to plug in and power your house in the case of an outage. They didn't make it known like during the presentation, but if you read the fine print, they did require a transfer switch, an automatic transfer switch, which we had predicted. You're going to need something such as the Tesla gateway, or in this case, the Ford transfer switch, and basically that makes it so that if you do have your vehicle plugged in and it's providing power to your house, it's not going to send the power back to the grid. So if linemen are working on the downlines, your house is isolated from that, and it's not going to cause a problem. So it'd be neat if Tesla does bring that to the Cybertruck, because we do know the Cybertruck is supposed to have power outlets. I don't think it's going to have 21 or 22 outlets, but it would be nice if they did have a few more, and hopefully they do start offering the option for that power backup of your house.
Yeah, definitely the more, the better, for sure. John with the $5 super chat, really appreciate that. Layden's like, oh, what's this?
What's going on? Yeah.
Said Dan at What's Inside on his podcast mentioned he made a comment video on YouTube about service at Tesla, and he got his Tesla Roadster taken away from him.
Oh, what? His Wait, Dan did?
The one that he won.
Oh, really? Interesting. Through the referral program, because we know
I'm a weird flex this. I'm gonna text him later.
But because we know in the past, like Rich lost
Rich Rebuild said he got his taken away, but I think, I mean, I don't know the full situation behind his. I don't know if he's really fully discussed it, but I was under the assumption it was because he was kind of like hacking Teslas and selling like the
turning on certain features like supercharging or something like that, or
I think it was like the speed
or
boost
the
or
speed
something.
boost and stuff like that. Yeah.
But yikes! Oh yeah, John said yes. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
We'll have to reach.
I'm gonna have to get the scoop on that.
I haven't heard that yet, but
Wow.
fortunately, we haven't had any problems with our Tesla service.
Yeah. Yikes. Well, there's some more confetti. Sorry, I forgot to turn that off. Huge thanks, though, for the super chat, John. I really appreciate it. I'm going to reach out to him as soon as we're done and see what the dealio is with that, because that would really, really suck. But yeah, I guess...
Back to the Ford 150, though.
Yeah.
So it looked okay. I think it's a good competitor. They didn't have a lot. I mean, they were bragging about the number of reservations. They called them orders, but they were just reservations. But I heard like first 24 hours they had like 20-something thousand. Second 24 hours they had like maybe 44, 45,000. Not bad for a new vehicle. But when you compare that to like what we saw in the past for like the Model 3
or the Cybertruck,
we having having of thousands of vehicles in the first couple of days, it's a lot less, especially from a company that sells millions of these F-150s. It seems like a pretty small number. But again, it's nice to have some competition and good for them. But it seems like though Ford, when the CEO is doing interviews, he's still like not convinced. He's like, well, we're offering it, but we don't think people will really buy it.
He straight up said in one of the interviews, I think I sent it to you even, because I was like, what did he just say? He straight up said that most of our F-150 buyers drive 600 miles a day. Electric will never work for them.
I find that hard to believe. I mean, I can see driving 600 miles on a couple road trips or stuff, but people don't drive 600 miles a day if they own a truck.
I mean, if most of them are driving that, that's literally like a 10-hour driving day.
So is that all they do in their trucks all day?
Do you just drive around in your trucks all day? Because that sounds fun.
I don't know. But I think his numbers are off.
Yeah, I think they were skewed, and he needs to be careful between order and pre-order. Several other companies have been hit very hard for miscommunicating that and potentially misleading investors.
One other thing about this reservation that we put in, we've already been contacted by our local dealership.
Yeah, let me pull this up.
Offering to sell us stupid internal combustion engine vehicles. It's like, this is why we don't like working with dealers, because they're trying to sell us something that we don't want. Tesla is so much better because you can just go to the website, order exactly what you want, and they're not going to try to sell you one of their other vehicles. But yeah, the dealerships is already contacting us, even though the car's not supposed to be out until next year. They're trying to sell us something else. Not why we, if anything, we're going to tell them do not notify us, take us, put us on the do not email list because we're not interested.
So I'm just making sure this doesn't show any like personal information, but this is the email I got. I've gotten several of these, mind you.
In this one, like 4 days.
This one was on May 20th at 7 a.m. What was May 20th? Was that Friday? Thursday.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, it says new inventory selections handpicked just for you, and they're all ICE F-150s.
Yeah, but you've already been contacted multiple times in like 5 days concerning this, and it's like, no, we're not interested.
I was like, I reserved a Lightning because it's an EV, and they're like trying to sell me like ICE vehicles. I'm really kind of tired of it, to be honest. Now I know they're probably trying to get sales and everything. I can respect that a little bit, but if I don't respond to the first email, don't keep sending me emails, because there's a reason probably. So I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating. But again, the more David and I talked about it, we might. I mean, I'm not going to cancel the reservation, but the Cybertruck and even the Rivian beats it on almost like every level that I can think of. And I just don't also want a car that's literally a brick on wheels. I saw somebody mentioned it earlier in chat that they're estimating the battery to potentially be at 130 to 150 kilowatt hours because it is so
inefficient.
It's just inefficient. And it's like, if Ford would have thought about this a little bit more and changed the design style to be a little bit more aero, they could have saved a lot of money on batteries and used smaller batteries with more range.
Yeah.
So to me, that kind of tells me that they just don't care.
Yeah, they don't understand
You know?
like what the market is looking for,
Exactly.
or at least the market that we know is looking for the range, and we don't want an old style looking pickup truck just because that's what it's looked like for the last 30 years.
Anyone interested in an EV, the number one things they're concerned with, I'll say for like 90% of people, are the range and charging infrastructure. Those are the big things. Everything else is just kind of icing on the cake.
And speaking of charging infrastructure,
Yeah.
not Tesla, sorry, Ford did announce they're going to have like the Ford Pass, where you basically, they don't have their own network, but they team with a bunch of other networks, such as Electrify America. And we've actually had our friend spotted the F-150 Lightning at an Electrify America at just miles away from our house, and he sent us some pictures. But it's also shown up, they were in Colorado, and they were tweeting about it.
Yeah, so this person, Raw Tribe on Twitter, tweeted at me and said Ford at the Pine Ridge condos in Breckenridge, and I guess this is his Model S right here. This is a Mach-E, and they had these two trucks with them, obviously suspect. He said that Ford really wouldn't tell him what they were or anything, but yeah, luckily our friend Doug was over. There's a Supercharger,
Right
16 stalls right on the other side of this wall, but here are some Electrify America, and it was parked there, charging at an Electrify America, and our friend Doug was able to get some photos of it and actually confirm it was
The F-150.
F-150 Lightning.
What's interesting though is from this picture we can see of the screen, we couldn't tell if that was like the 15.5-inch screen or whatever.
It actually, I think it might be the larger
further. We just can't see
one.
because of that sticker there.
And there's also appears to be like a laptop mount,
Okay, yeah, in front
potentially.
of it.
And so this is clearly a dev vehicle, but I don't know why they still have all this stuff Velcroed all over the car, because it's already been shown. They could just pull that right off. But we did actually go out to the airport this weekend because we had to pick Scott up from the airport, and Ford was out there.
Yeah,
by the Supercharger,
yeah.
with several Ford
Raptor.
official vehicle,
Yeah.
like help vehicles, along with I think like 4 or 5 Raptors that they were testing as well.
Yeah.
Colorado's a great testing environment, and they love to do it up in the mountains. And that hotel that the Supercharger's at is right next to the airport. So what they do oftentimes, all these car manufacturers, is they ship their cars in and they actually unload them literally right there, and then they fly their crew in to drive them up to the mountains because it's right next to the airport. So I mean, that was kind of interesting, and it's cool to see these out and about. I'm not sold on it yet. We'll say that. I don't know. We'll keep the reservation for now, see how things progress.
Yeah.
But I'm very hopeful that my Cybertruck will get here before they contact me about a Lightning.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So we talked about the Powerwall 2 a little bit during the pre-show of the Ford Lightning. But we actually have some pictures now to show you.
Yeah, basically Elon had announced the Powerwall 2 Plus a couple weeks back at like the latest quarterly earnings event, and basically it's kind of like a Powerwall 2 with an inverter and other hardware attached directly above it. And in some instances, this is something that can be installed a lot simpler than others. And thanks, by the way, to Chillum and Sean 10780 on TMC. These are pictures of their install. There's been several other people that have gotten installs just in the last week or so. This shows how an install with multiple Powerwalls, so they can be installed with multiple Powerwalls, but we just have the first one mounted on the wall that has that inverter in it. And we still don't know all the specs on it, but as we get more information on those, we'll talk about that in future streams. But basically, it's kind of like they took an inverter, rotated it, and put it in a box about the same size. Powerwall, width-wise, and put it up there. But again, the way it ties into the meter and stuff is a lot simpler, and it looks like they're using their own like hardware for metering. And basically, again, it just makes it a lot easier for them to do some installs. For larger installs that might require multiple inverters, even more Powerwalls, not going to always be used. Because in this case, you can see there's 2 different Powerwalls, and but they can still use it in some cases. So again, it's still the same capacity as far as we know. We haven't seen new firmware updates coming out yet, but it sounds like we're still on 20 1.49.0. I believe there's one newer firmware that a few people have, but I think it's hopefully going to be rolling out soon, and that might contain those changes where Elon announced that the Powerwalls might be able to do more peak power output.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think it looks pretty sleek, actually. Overall, I think it looks great, and it will definitely simplify and streamline the install process.
Yeah, I definitely, like, we have a gateway. We'll have to post a picture one of the days of our wall, but if you've seen some of our old videos, we have like 4 inverters on the side of the house, and then we have like a gateway and a generation panel and a backup panel, load panel, and meter panel. So it's nice. Tesla is definitely putting things together, making it look a lot more aesthetically pleasing, the way that they're building things these days. But it's not worth it to upgrade it. You know, in our case, we're not going to pay to get this installed. And also, our power walls are actually in our garage, whereas our inverters and gateway are on, like 100 feet away on the side of the house. So it's not something that would be installed in our house.
Exactly. And 3 of our power walls we will never give up because they are signed by Elon, JB, and Franz. So if forever we move, I'm ripping those suckers off the wall.
Yeah, reinstall them somewhere else.
Yep, I will pay to ship them.
That brings us to the next point, though, a solar update. Another great week for solar. We did have some clouds on some days, but for the week, we generated 721 kilowatt hours versus only needing to use 375. So we had a little bit less usage this week just because Scott was on vacation, so he wasn't charging his car up every day. But you can see that we generated almost twice as much as we used. And we only used 69 kilowatt hours from the grid, but we sent 366 kilowatt hours back to the grid. So we're getting credit for those. That will go into our solar energy bank with our utility company. And then in the darker, colder months this winter, we'll be able to take those credits back out. But so far for this year, we're at like 105% offset. And basically, we have already a surplus of 462 kilowatt hours for the year. And as of today, it was just really weird numbers. We are at within 1 kilowatt hour of what we've taken from the grid and what we've sent back to the grid. At like 4,780 versus 4,779. So we're going to be having a surplus. So for the rest of the year, there will be some days where we have clouds and rain and stuff like that. We're going to take more from the grid. But for the most part, we're surplus for the rest of the year, and we are going on track to have a great surplus thanks to our Powerwalls and our 20.5 kilowatt solar system.
Yes, absolutely love our system. We've been very, very happy with it, not going to lie.
And I forgot to mention, because we didn't have a live stream like last Saturday, but we did had our record production. A little over a week ago, we hit a maximum daily production of 147 kilowatt hours in one day. And that beat our previous record by, I think, 3 kilowatt hours. And we're expecting, if we can get some more good days, maybe we might be able to reach 160 with our system on some days.
Oh, yeah. It just depends on clouds. To be honest, clouds are kind of like our biggest killer right now.
Yeah.
But so far, knock on wood, it's bamboo, but we love it. We have not... Oh, sorry, there's no one at the door, dog. We have not experienced any of the power outages that we were experiencing last year due to the transformer issue we were having. And so that was upgraded.
Those weren't real outages, but the Powerwall was reporting those as outages, and basically the Powerwalls had to take over generating or powering the house like over 800 times last summer because of the dirty power that was being generated from our transformer. Our other neighbors noticed some outages. They didn't notice 800 of them, but because our Powerwall, the power was so dirty, it was having to take over. It's like, hey, I'm not going to let you do this. The watts and volts and all that stuff were messed up, the hertz, whatever it was. But basically, the problem has been resolved now that we have a new transformer. And we have like some video on that. We're going to recap, but I think we're going to wait probably till July, but that'll be our 3-year anniversary of having our solar system installed. So we'll probably put all the details in that video once we get to July.
Yeah, but like some of these are like real power outages that we had. You can see 867 events, 122 total backup hours. But all these 5 and 6 minute ones are because of dirty power.
Yeah.
Now the 2-hour one,
those are real.
Those are legit. Oh. But like, if you look at this, all those are like 5 minutes. And that's what all that dirty power was giving us. And some of these days we had like 30 times like this.
Like 36. And the problem, the problem, not that we never lost power in the house. The Powerwalls 100% never lost power. The house was still powered via Powerwalls and solar. The problem is that in order to sync back up with the frequency on the grid, the Powerwalls would have to turn off the solar system temporarily. So if you can imagine, turning your solar off for like 5 minutes a day, or 5 minutes per occurrence times 30, it's over 150 minutes. So sometimes 2.5, 3 hours per day that
Of
we were
loss.
losing solar production.
Yeah.
And we think that was probably causing us to lose 20 to 30% of our solar last year. So hopefully our numbers will be good, much better this summer. Now we did have it's been a pretty wet June here in Colorado, and last year we had
May.
May. We had a really, really wet May this year in Colorado. Last year was much less rain, and we had our best month ever, where we produced like 3,600 kilowatt hours. But we're kind of behind those numbers this year. But again, we had our record daily production of 147 kilowatt hours, and I expect we'll probably get some days even higher than that.
Yeah, we should blow past that real quick, especially without those stupid, dirty power outages that our grid was giving. Super thankful to have that new transformer in, and hopefully that keeps us going without any issues, because now instead of I think it was 5 homes on one transformer,
Now it's
or
just the 2 of
6?
us. Yeah.
Now it's just us and our neighbor.
Yeah.
So
It was weird that we had one transformer was probably 30 or more years old, and there were at least 6 houses on it. And
and all these houses
it was
throughout
not-
the years have added on or demoed and rebuilt much bigger, and nothing was upgraded.
Yeah, and so it's nice that they finally got it upgraded. So it's just the two, our neighbor and us, on that one transformer. No problems.
I guess that's it for the news. So you are free to relax and move about the cabin.
Okay.
And we can go ahead and just jump into comments. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them down below in the comment section, and we can go ahead and just kind of talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I know a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions about the Refresh S and X, so we can jump onto that. I see Amy is saying, did you see the Taycan losing power while driving?
I heard about.
I did see
Yeah.
that story. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with that.
Does they need?
Porsche responded and said they're aware of the issue, and then they stressed that the issue hasn't caused any harm to the drivers or anything like that, and they're researching it still. But I mean, that's kind of concerning, being how smart and electric these cars are. I'm curious to know what the actual issue is. Pretty much.
Yeah, does Amy? Do you know if her delivery has been delayed? Because I believe we've mentioned she's waiting delivery.
Yeah, Amy, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, because I know a lot of people are waiting, and I don't think they're delivering any right now. So she's probably waiting eagerly for that.
Yeah.
So.
And we have a special package waiting for Amy when she takes delivery.
Oh.
For those of you that don't, I don't know if I should say this. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Can I say
She's
this?
a friend, but she's
She's
a friend.
Amy, and they bought. I don't know. I don't want to necessarily out people, but they bought our first Model Y. So.
Oh yeah, so she
they're
just
good friends
announced
of the
it.
channel.
She just announced June 3rd to June 23rd. So yeah,
Okay.
so she does have a delivery date. So that's
Okay.
good. Sometime in June. So she'll be coming down here to Colorado and taking
Yep.
delivery, I believe, in Superior. So we'll definitely looking forward to meeting and seeing her again.
Maybe we'll take delivery of our Model S refresh on the same day.
Yeah,
Maybe.
or hopefully, I don't know, we'll see.
That would be a fun event.
But we're not gonna delay it if she shows up and our else is there, good. But we're not gonna delay that S just so
Yeah.
we can wait for the Y.
Yep. Let's
Sorry,
see. We love you, Amy, but we really want ours. John Eric 98 said, I recently noticed that online Tesla Supercharger map includes Tesla body shop locations, which are different than the Tesla service centers. So service centers don't really do much body work. I know there's a couple locations that do both, but yeah, they are now popping up with their own body shops in hopes to reduce this delay, because a lot of other body shops, I mean, I'm sure we've all heard the horror stories about them taking super long time and really botching the whole process, having to order parts several times instead of streamlining the process. So I, for one, am super happy about it. There's actually a new location in Denver. We drove by it the other
yesterday
day.
on the way to the airport. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't stop because we kind of had some things going on, but I, for one, am excited to see Tesla work towards this, because it should streamline everything much more.
I think, too, it'll be a much more affordable prices, because we've heard a lot of these body shops are charging...
$20,000 for a rear quarter panel.
I mean, well, sometimes that's merited. In some cases, it's not.
I think most of the time it's not.
And so hopefully by Tesla taking over for a lot of these body repairs, they can do exactly what's necessary and not charge an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Chris Tech said if they won't be putting radars into their cars, then I'm not sure if rear cross traffic alert, which is what we all want, will work with Purevision. Rear cross. Can they do that with the cameras though?
It depends on where the cameras are placed. I don't know if it's because right now when you have a car, other cars, non-Teslas that have that rear cross traffic alert, the radars are in the rear bumper, which sticks out more.
Outwards,
so if you're parked, they can see out. Whereas with the cameras being up on the B pillar, they're not going to be able to see that until your car's already out there. And I'm wondering too, speaking of radar, how are they going to, in the past when they brought out the features where it can bounce the radar on the road, under the car in front of you and see the car in front of that was great because before you could only see one car, now you can see two. So it remains to be seen, are we going to lose that functionality?
But also the radar allowed it to work in fog. Vision won't allow that. So, I mean, the radar really was nice. Let's see. Here you go. TM3 text, thank you for the $10. I know. David saw the money gun. I don't know where you saw it. Was it TikTok?
Probably TikTok, yes.
And so he saw it and he sent it to me and was like, we need this instead of the confetti cannons. Because one, I complain about the confetti cannons.
Confetti's a mess to clean up.
It's a lot of work and it scares the dog sometimes. And the money gun, who doesn't love it? Anyway, thank you so much for the $10 dono. Said, Eric, I received my PTO, sir, and turned on my solar... permission to operate.
Yep.
I thought you were talking about you're approving my PTO to go to
vacation.
And turned on my solar system yesterday. Thanks for your help with the issues early on. Was able to run house using solar during light rain. Awesome. Yeah. I'm really happy that worked out for you. If you have any further issues, feel free to reach out and I will fire off some emails.
That's a cool thing too. Even with rain, we've had a lot of rain lately, we still generate enough solar, even most days when it's raining, to power the house and maybe another house or two in our neighborhood. And power the power walls back up.
One nice thing though, more confetti. The one nice thing I'd like about light rain though is it almost seems to cool the panels off just enough where it increases your generation. It's kind of fun to look at that.
So on our system, we have 20.5 kilowatts. Based on 63 panels, which are 325 watts each.
Yep.
And we've got 4 inverters, which total, I think, 21 kilowatts exactly, or somewhere right around 21. But we see even on some days when we have this cloud effect, either after rain or when big clouds go over, we actually see our system generating over, the max I think we've seen is 22.3 kilowatts at once, which is above rated specs. So that's amazing. And like Eric said, when the panels are cooled off and we have some of that shade, it actually helps the system perform even better.
Yeah, so, I mean, as much as people are kind of scared of rain, a light rain can actually do wonders for your system.
Yeah, and cleans the panels off a little bit too.
Yep. But huge thanks for that $10 super chat. Really do appreciate that.
And congrats again on your social system. Yeah.
Yes. Super happy all that worked out. Diego said, did you guys get one of the new Hot Wheels Cybers? Maybe. I got 2 of them.
But we didn't get as many as we would have liked because Eric...
So they had a limit of 2.
Yeah.
And I was at work and I had to go in for a procedure and I was because normally the procedures start at 10 and that's when it was started. So anyway, I was a few minutes late. It's cool. But I was able to get 2 and then I tried sending him the link and unfortunately I just wrote in our chat
order 2
of these because
and I was like, what am I supposed to order? And by the time they sold out within a couple of minutes.
So I heard from some people that work with the situation, it sold out in 2
from New Jersey
minutes. No, who's that?
Oh, he was on New Jersey. There's a guy there's that reality.
I'll tell you who I know in just a second. But anyway, it sold out in 2 minutes. So that is quite impressive.
I'm wondering though, how can they sell that thing at $100, whereas the other one was $400?
I know. I'm really kind of curious about that because it's a 1/10 scale also. Now it does only go up to 12 miles an hour.
A lot slower.
But I mean, if it's the same thing, just 12 miles versus 30 or so, $300 off, I'm in.
A much better deal. I mean, it doesn't have the fancy case probably.
It still has the headlights and everything.
And also,
too.
Did you see the remote is totally different? It looks kind of like the yoke steering instead of the wheel. So maybe it's not as professional, not as fast, but come on, 75% off.
I know. But to answer your question, Diego, yes, I did get 2. I tried to get a few more for some other giveaways, but I did get 2. I'm gonna keep one, and we are gonna do a giveaway on the second one.
You know what I wonder is if you could buy those, and if it's the exact same size, you could swap the body. So basically, for all those who are having fun with their $400 one, who maybe crashed it, rolled it more than once, you'd be able to buy.
Who are you referring to?
Basically,
here?
you got your own little Tesla Cybertruck body shop, and you could buy $100 one and put it on there, and then take the other one and let the kids play with that.
Tear it up some more.
The cheaper one, yeah.
But yeah, I am looking forward to giving those away. I absolutely love doing giveaways. And speaking of, I do have some other things to ship away.
We have
I don't know if he's here, but the gentleman who won the How Much Did Tesla Make in the Quarter Profit, he won this, but I decided to include a couple other things, and some things were shipped to me, and they were delayed. But that package is going to go out to him because we finally got those in. But yeah, we are going to be doing a lot of giveaways too because we absolutely love doing that. So much fun. Let's see. Oh, the one thing we didn't talk about is what if the subscription is rolling out in June 3rd for FSD?
That's what we're wondering because, again, we've mentioned there have been a lot of website changes were happening like Thursday and Friday. The site was down multiple times, and some people did notice some changes, but not huge ones. But maybe they are getting ready to add that functionality to allow you to subscribe to Full Self-Driving.
Yeah. So that would be nice because we still need, right now, the Model S and the Model X, they all have full self-driving on their orders. But, I mean, I'm getting the Model X, and I don't know how long we'll keep it. It might be replaced with a Cybertruck. I don't know exactly when that'll be. But if that's the case, do I really want to shell out $10,000 when I'll be replacing it with a Cybertruck, hopefully sooner than later?
Yeah.
We might change that, and we have been huge advocates of hating subscription model things.
For not Tesla, but
not Tesla,
anything.
any subscription model. we're just not huge fans of it.
I'd rather just pay for it and be done with it.
Thank you.
Even if it costs more, it's just like I don't like having nickel dime monthly bills and stuff like that.
Great example. Cell phone plans. Most people are monthly plans. He just does a year plan at a time.
Yeah, I just do a prepaid thing that lasts me for a year, and it's like unlimited data and stuff. And I think I pay as much in like about a month or two as Scott pays per month.
Yeah.
For his, but we're both happy with our plans, but I just don't like the monthly bills.
Yeah. So I mean, different ways to do it. But if we're only going to keep a car for 6 months to a year, it might be more beneficial in terms of money.
We could save a lot of money that way because we've spent over the past 12 Teslas. We didn't buy full self-driving on all of those, but if you add it up, we've spent like $60,000 between full self-driving and the enhanced autopilot.
Yeah.
On those cars. And now somebody did post over the past couple of days when the site changes were made, they saw a button on their order for enhanced autopilot. Yes. And that's something that we've seen being offered in other countries. It's something that Tesla used to offer in the United States years ago, but then when they started making autopilot standard, they got rid of the enhanced autopilot. They offer enhanced autopilot in like markets like China and Europe, where the take rate on full self-driving wasn't as high. And so somebody here in the United States saw a button to add enhanced autopilot. And we asked other people, they didn't see it. So we're wondering...
It might have been when they were doing their website updates.
Was it an error, and was that only supposed to be shown for foreign markets, or are they going to start offering enhanced autopilot again in the United States? Because, again, that was a better deal because instead of having to pay the $10,000 all at once, you could pay like $5,000 and get a lot of those features, a lot of the best autopilot features like navigate on autopilot and stuff like that.
Yeah. So hopefully that comes back. That would be awesome. Let's see. Emmett said, hey guys, when is the best time for me to buy a new S or X? 500 miles is what I need. Any idea when that battery tech will come out? Not wanting to buy Plaid, don't need performance. So right now, the Model S is coming in at 412. The X is what, 360-ish?
Yeah.
For 500 miles... I mean, I don't really know what Tesla's plan is with Cybertruck and everything. Because Cybertruck Tri-Motor is supposed to get 500. The next-gen Roadster is supposed to be 600 plus. So, I mean, I would probably say 3 years maybe?
I'm hoping a lot sooner than that.
2 years?
I'm hoping sooner than that. Because, the Cybertruck is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah.
At the price for the Cybertruck, you could get the long range.
Yeah.
And if the Cybertruck has a 500-mile range, I think they have to have a Model S within the next year.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe, year. Okay.
Or maybe sooner. Because again, if this is coming out, this is just the long range, not the long range plus.
Yeah.
Maybe later this year we'll be seeing the long range plus.
Maybe with some 4680s?
I don't know, but basically within a year, I think if with before the Cybertruck comes out, they have to have, I think, a Model
before.
S with a
Okay.
500 mile range.
Okay.
Non-plaid.
Interesting.
We'll see. No, you know what? I might have to take that back because
okay.
the Cybertruck's supposed to have those 4680 cells, like
Yeah,
you
it
just mentioned,
will.
whereas the long range only has the 18650s.
Yeah.
So, or at least as far as we know.
So that's
Maybe
what
things have
worries
changed.
me is I think their 4680 cells are going to be so constrained with the Model Ys that are going in Texas and the Cybertrucks. I don't know how they're, because if they get rid of the 18650s from the Model S and X for 4680s, I think that's going to take a while to really change over.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Because
to see
that's a complete different thing.
Yeah, and it remains to be seen. We discussed this a little bit on Wednesday when we had the other live stream, but it remains to be seen. How are they going to have enough batteries for the Model Y down there in Texas?
And Cybertrucks.
And how are they going to differentiate it? Are they going to add range to that, or are they just going to reduce the size of the battery so that it can still have the current range at a cheaper price?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they want to have a Model Y that has a longer range than the Model S at a lot cheaper price, because that would just cut into the Model S sales.
100%. Great question, though. So, Robert said, so in-person channel meetups this year?
Well,
Maybe later this year?
I think so, yeah, because
Yeah.
we used to meet up with a lot of people at like Denver Tesla Club events, and we've hosted our own events here at the house, or even like up in Blackhawk, and we've gone on many like Tesla rally drives
Yeah.
around the state, and so yeah, I think probably
And-
coming up.
We were actually just talking about some things we could do at events.
Yes, we have some fun
ideas.
cool plans.
Yeah. That was good. I like that.
Coming
I wonder if anyone's gonna
to
get it.
coming to a supercharger near us soon. So, or that's what we should do. It like
I think I'll end up tweeting it out like an hour beforehand,
But you know how?
and then we're gonna do it.
So basically, right now they just opened up the Monument Supercharger down in towards Colorado Springs, but there's still like I believe 3 superchargers that they're planning on building in Colorado. So for our local fans, there's still a couple coming here in the next year. So I don't know. We weren't planning on going to one of the new locations, but I think that might be one of the places where we could have one of our little surprise meetups and stuff like that. It won't be. I guess we'll have to send out a tweet, like you said, so that you'll be able to plan maybe a day in advance or something like that. But if the supercharger does open up unexpectedly, then we might not be there right on opening day. But Eric disappeared. I don't know where he went, so I'll just. I don't know where he left off on the questions either. So. Okay, he's back. Okay.
Sorry, doing dog check. I was on dog check duty.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I'm excited.
But so you hear
for
what I
some
said.
of our
So we have
cool things.
But there's 3 superchargers. A couple of them in the Denver metro area. We might be able to do at one of those locations.
Okay.
But some of the other, we could still make some other places around the state, or even on road trips. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, if
We
you
did-
are in Colorado, follow me on Twitter and everything, because the things that we were talking about are going to be like quick, and not necessarily quick, but they're going to be like, we'll announce it like an hour before we do it.
Yeah.
But like,
So locals could make it, or
but like
sure.
bigger meetups, hopefully we can start doing that. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll try to
Speaking
do a road
of bigger
trip later
meetups,
this
this
year.
was actually the weekend for the Sound of Silence up in Custer, South Dakota.
was.
We did not go this year because we had some other stuff planned.
Yep.
But we might be able to make it next year.
Yeah.
It was definitely a fun event. We went a couple years back, and basically people from all around the country and Canada and maybe even Mexico, I don't know, they all converge upon Custer, South Dakota, and basically have a big meetup, and then you get like discounts on local venues.
Yep.
Like you can get into like free to
Crazy Horse.
and I think discount to like Mount Rushmore, and then
Yeah.
there's like some coupons for restaurants and local stores, and there's a supercharger right there now. We were there for the grand opening of the Custer, South Dakota supercharger, but it's a very scenic area and it's cool. We did the drive around, and definitely we'll be planning on going back to that in hopefully next year.
Yeah,
But
it is a fun event.
It's cool, to meet people from all across the country on that.
Yeah.
They're going to have to start finding bigger restaurants though, because remember when we went there a few years ago, it was already
pretty full.
packed.
Yeah.
And I can see it looks like the more people are coming every year.
Yeah, the crowd this year looked pretty awesome, and they even had a Gen 1 Roadster there. I think that might be the first year. It wasn't there when we went, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or was it 3 years ago?
It was already 3 years ago because we were
3.
planning on going 2 years ago. Then we had to cancel that.
Oh, and then last year, obviously, it was canceled.
Yeah, as
okay.
well. It was totally canceled last year.
Yeah.
But glad they're putting that back on. And hopefully we'll have some other events that we can go to around the country.
Yep.
And we are still planning road trips once we get our like Cybertruck and Roadsters and stuff like that. So one of these days we'll be hopefully coming to a Supercharger near you.
Oh, there you go. Mace is in chat. Welcome, Mace. Said, Avatar for the Plaid Plus order on my account finally came back from the broken image link.
Yes, they fixed it.
And it no longer says Oodle S for us. It actually says Model S.
Yeah, that has been broken since like November or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a good 6-7 months.
I can't believe it took so long for them just to fix a broken image. So
yeah, I don't know what the
it's
deal
working
is,
now. We're glad to see that.
Yeah.
We still have that reservation. Don't know, again, like we've said in the past, don't know if we're still going to go through with the Plaid Plus reservation. Just depends on timing as to when the Cybertruck and the Roadster come out.
Yep. Lux said, Tesla emails me once in a while to upgrade my 2014 S, but not aggressive. Yeah, and like I don't mind an email like occasionally or something like that.
But at least it's a comparable car.
It's a comparable car.
You know.
Like I reserved an EV from Ford. I won't take an ICE vehicle.
Yeah, we haven't had, like Eric got his first Tesla over almost 5 years ago. Next month. He will be Tesla only, EV only for 5 years. I'm going on about 4 years, a little over 4 years on me. So we're not going back to ICE anytime soon. We are pleased with Tesla. We are looking at other, cars out there, and we definitely are thankful for the competition.
You bet.
Coming out with cars that are comparable. There's still a lot of them that don't come close to what Tesla offers, but it's interesting to see the competition, and we will keep our eyes open and definitely bring that news to you whenever we see a new one. I think there's supposed to be another car announced later this week, so we'll have to check on that.
Yep. Gabrielle said, did you see the video of the refresh Model X on T Sportline's Instagram page? You bet
yes.
I did.
We haven't in there yet.
Yeah, so I saw that. The interior was mismatched, though. You can't actually order.
The coloring was it had
was
like
there.
The color did not match what is available on the Tesla the design studio. So that was an interesting.
It looks good.
Yeah, I wish we would have gotten more like interior shots of that, but it was nice to see that on T Sportline's site.
Yeah, it looks good. I can't wait for the X. We had our X briefly and absolutely loved it. The X is a great vehicle. It really is. It is one of the more expensive ones, but it's just such a great car. So very excited to welcome one back to the garage soon. Let's see. Peter said, any news on Texas factory with Cybertruck production? Absolutely nothing. And all the images
Only
we've seen from
Model
Tesla
Y,
have labeled Model Y. So I honestly don't know. It's a good question. Everything on the website still says late 2021. So unless Tesla's doing something, now we've heard a lot of rumors. I haven't actually got anything confirmed that they have test lines at Fremont for the Cybertruck that they are working on, and then will hopefully move down to Austin. Now, again, that is just a rumor. I don't have any proof of that, but if that is the case, maybe that would help expedite things.
I wonder what they're going to build in Fremont, because if they do start doing a lot of this production down in Austin,
what's Fremont for?
They're not going to have enough demand, I think, for the S and X, so they're going to have to build something besides the S and X in Fremont. For the number of cars they're pushing out of there, they're going to have to keep those workers busy.
Exactly. So, I mean, if Y is going to start being built in Austin, there's no reason Model 3 wouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
Because they share so many parts. So if that's the case, they would probably remove that eventually from Fremont. They might. I know the plan is to kind of keep them both going for a while, so that Austin can supply the eastern United States and Fremont can provide the western.
Yeah.
But at the same point, I don't really know if they need two factories doing that.
Could be also, though, they do it by technology, so maybe they would only build the 4680 vehicles there, whether it's a Cybertruck or a Y, or, I don't know, the Roadster, but again, we thought the Roadster was going to be built in Fremont.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll still build the 3, and
I mean, the Roadster's going to be small enough numbers, they could just ship the batteries for those cars to Fremont.
But like the 2170 vehicles, which is the Model 3 and the current Model Y, that's what they're building there in Fremont, in addition to the 18650 cell vehicles, which is the Model S and the X. So it remains to be seen, are they going to switch over the 3 as well, or just keep it the way it is? Because they're churning out those cells at the Gigafactory there in the Reno area. So I don't know if they're going to be switching them over anytime soon for the Model 3. But
it is definitely very weird.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
Yep. Let's see. Robert said the B-pillar cameras are not enough for Purevision. They need 4 more cameras, 2 more front and 2 rear, all side facing. Place 2 at the front headlights and 2 at the rear taillights, again side facing.
That would be a good.
That would
good
actually,
location,
yeah, that would
definitely
actually be really
allow you to
nice.
see like around corner, or when you're backing or pulling out of a parking spot. Those would be good locations, I think.
Yep. Pete said we need to put Doge dollars in the money gun. That's actually a brilliant
Yeah.
idea. I'm gonna have to Google that later.
Speaking of Doge, it has kind of dropped recently.
But it went back up today. It was down at like the low today was
pretty
24
bad, yeah.
cents.
It's the lowest it's been in a
And
while.
I think last I looked, it was at like 31 cents. So
But like, wasn't it only like 16 days ago or so when
it was at
reached-
70
It
or
was like
something.
74 cents at a high.
Currently, we're at 31.6 cents.
So
The biggest it was ever was 71
I
cents.
thought it had 74 for like a brief
Oh yeah,
moment.
sorry, 74 cents on May 7th.
Yeah,
So 2 weeks ago.
yeah. It's like right before the SNL appearance with Elon.
wow.
And so it was really nice. Fortunately, I bought in way below like 4 cents.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
I, hopefully it'll get back up there one of these days.
Yeah. But that's a great idea. Kevin said I just picked up a Model Y in Orlando, VIN 184,000.
Wow. They're
Where
already
is the
pretty-
radar on the Model Y? I can check if we have one.
It should be. I can't remember.
I
It's,
mean, you have
it's
to take
behind
off the front bumper
Yeah.
because it's on like
Can
some
you
of the
see it if
beams.
you open up and look in the front and remove the front
No, I
bin?
don't think
Can
so.
you see that? I can't remember.
Because it's facing on the
Have
outside.
them check, but basically, go back and look at Eric's video where
Oh, yeah.
we took delivery of one of the very first Model Ys. Like VIN was like less than 1,400, so they've come a long way since.
I mean,
then. But
I would say yours has it
Probably,
because
most likely.
otherwise, if
wouldn't have
they
delivered it,
finally
yeah.
they wouldn't have delivered it. And if they did have the actual
Pure
firmware
Vision.
update ready for Purevision, all these other 10,000 would no longer be sitting on lots.
And people
we
would
can
have that new
confirm-
software version out there where we haven't seen a
Yeah.
lot of releases lately. So most likely, 99% chance you still have it. But if you go and check out Eric's video from June of last year when we took delivery and he opened up the frunk and we did a walk around, he pulled out the frunk bin and you can see, I believe you can see where the radar is. And at the time, did that come with HomeLink or did you still have to get HomeLink installed?
Still had to get HomeLink installed.
Separately on that. Because I know when the 3, we took delivery of that, it had the HomeLink. But by the time we got the Y, it was something you had to add on later. But you can probably see it in that video where it was.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know. If you don't have it, definitely tweet us. Aziz's car review said, I noticed that you can no longer click on Plaid Plus when ordering a Model S. Yes.
Interesting.
So this actually turned gray. The Plaid Plus button, you can't click
Is it
on it.
because it's so far delayed, like for a year or something? They don't
Maybe,
want
but we have one on order.
Yeah, that's
So how does that
interesting.
work?
Interesting. Or is it just a website bug because they did a bunch of changes?
True.
But
It
also
easily
somebody
could
else
be that.
noticed if you go to do a plaid order, you can now order a plaid without carbon fiber. Now we love
Yes.
carbon fiber, but not a lot of there's a lot of people don't like it. And it used to be that if you got plaid, you had to get carbon fiber. Now they have it so you can get the wood trim instead of carbon fiber.
mean,
so
it
this is a
makes
recent
sense.
update that just came out a couple days ago.
It makes sense to give anyone who's ordering Plaid more options. Now, if you are sticking with the long range, you only have the included wood decor.
Yeah, I
There
wish-
is no carbon fiber upgrade. I
Yeah.
wish they would offer that, though, because they could probably make some easy money there.
Yeah, because that's something they offered in the past, back in 2016, 2017,
Yep.
I think even into 2018, it was an extra option. Originally, you could choose totally different seats, interior, and
All
like
kinds of stuff.
the headliner.
Yeah.
You could customize, they had all these different options. Then they narrowed it down, then they narrowed it down even more. Now it's just like black interior or black and white interior, and you can't choose that wood trim. So it'd be nice. At one time, though, too, they still had it so you could pay like the extra 1,000 or 1,500 for the carbon fiber, but then that totally went away unless you have a plaid.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, we have a long range on order, so it will have the wood. I'll say the wood will not be in there super long because I will be getting rid of it.
Yeah, and another option too is if you don't want to go through the trouble of
Yeah.
totally pulling all the wood
can-
decor,
yeah.
you can wrap it. And there's
Yep.
all kinds, like Abstract Ocean. I know for like the 3 and Y, I don't know if they're going to have that for the S, but they do have wraps for like the 3 and Y.
Yes. Speaking
So
of
anyways,
Abstract Ocean, channel
That's-
sponsor right
It could
there.
just be a more affordable way of having that carbon fiber look, or even other textures. Because I know for remember for the 3, they had so many different choices. Like, it was nice
Yeah, that is the one nice
to
thing.
customize it. Yeah.
Is you can fully customize it, which I absolutely love that. Let's see. Where was that? A bunch of people saying how awesome competition is and how much it's welcomed. I'm really appreciative that my audience feels that way because I've seen a lot of hate towards the F-150 on Twitter. Mind you, it's not for everybody, and I still think that Ford is kind of halving their attempt.
Yeah.
I think they could do much better. But I am still excited to see a step in that direction.
It's a good first attempt because they could have come out with a truck that was like 120 mile range.
Oh, that would have been awful.
That would have been horrible. And so 230 is okay. I mean, again, you're probably going to get half of that if you're towing something, but you're probably not towing something every day. So 230 would be fine around town, I think.
Yep. Let's see. Amy said, "Have you seen the Candy?" K-A-N-D-I.
Oh, it's a Chinese, like I believe it's a cheap Chinese car.
Oh, I don't know.
I think.
I haven't seen it or heard of it. I'll Google
There's
it.
There's all kinds of
I'll check it out.
other competitors. Or is that an Indian? I think that's a Chinese one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Grant said he's driving from Portland to Vegas for the 50th. Congratulations. The last week of July. And he said we could do a meetup.
There's something... We will not be available.
Oh yeah.
We will not be available that week. That's of all
That's
the
like
weeks,
the 1 week this entire year.
We will not be available that week. It's like when I heard that, it's like, sorry.
Oh, I totally didn't think of that. Sorry, Grant. I hope you have an awesome 50th.
But let us know what I don't know. But let us know. Who knows? It depends on what days he's around. But yeah, probably not. We're not.
I totally didn't think of that when I said that.
We have something else on the calendar that week. Of all weeks this year, that's the one.
I am very excited to eventually tell you guys what's going on that week, though. It'll be fun. Let's see. Mark Kelly said, "How much does it cost to fully charge a Model S, and how many miles would that give you?"
It depends. That can vary greatly depending on if you're charging at home or charging at a supercharger, and also what version of the Model S you have. Because they had some that only might have had a 60 kilowatt hour battery, or other ones that have a 100 kilowatt hour battery. And even with the 100 kilowatt hour battery, the range varies greatly. If you had like what we have, the max range is like 335 miles when it was new, and now they had a long range plus last year that was like, was it close to 420 or 412, something like that. So it depends, but I mean, we were just calculating it. I mean, we could do the math, but basically, if you also don't usually charge your car up to 100%. So if you had a 100 kilowatt hour battery, typically you would charge it 80-90% on a daily basis. But if you're on a road trip, you also wouldn't take it all the way down to zero. So there's all kinds of numbers in there. But if you just assume say you put 80 in there, so it's 80 times. Again, the price of electricity,
it varies greatly.
But say where we live, again, we have solar, so we don't really have any electricity bill anymore. But if we were to charge our battery like that 80%, so say we came home and it was at 10% and we wanted to charge it up to 90%, 80 kilowatt hours, there's a little bit of losses when you're charging, but say we put 80 kilowatts, that would cost us about $6. Yeah, $6.40 to charge our car. If we had to pay, but since we have solar, we don't have to pay.
And about how many miles would that give us?
Well,
depending on the car.
With our car, again, it's the 2017 S100D. That would give about 290 miles.
Mm-hmm.
That would be subtract maybe 260, something like that, because we would already have the 10%, and we did. So say going from up to 90%, we added 80%. It's only about $6.40 to add the 260 miles.
Yeah.
So we were just talking though about the price of gas the other day though, and we were multiplying it out and seeing some of the prices out there. It used to be half the price, a third of the price if you're charging at home. Now it's
a fifth
of the price. If you have cheap electricity and expensive gas in your area, it can be so much cheaper, like a fourth or a fifth of the price with the electricity. Now, when you are on a road trip, superchargers, you have to pay those rates, and those do cost more typically than what you're going to pay at home.
Yeah.
And so you might have free supercharging, or if you get the free supercharging, then you can do some of those road trips for free. But if you are going to have to pay for some supercharging, it can vary greatly from like 25 cents to 35 or even 40 cents, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Per kilowatt hour.
But yeah, we were actually driving and we're at a stoplight and looked over and saw the gas prices. And I don't pay attention to gas prices, but we saw them and we're like, wow, that seems high. And yeah, we did the calculations while we were there. And it was like a fifth of the price for electricity.
Electricity would have been a fifth the price compared to paying for gas.
It was wild. Diego said, no surprise meetups. He needs 8 hours to drive up here. Okay, we'll give you 8 hours, Diego.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't get in trouble. Roger, welcome. Glad you could make it. Said they are building a secret new building next to the Terra Factory that a lot of people are saying is a secret battery project.
Oh,
yeah,
because they're gonna need batteries there.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome too. Not gonna lie. Let's see, where were we? John said, so do you pay cash for cars then?
We have in the past.
I have.
But
And actually, we visited, one of my longtime friends, Dan, does my accounting. And I have been yelled at several times because I have paid cash for cars in the past. And I don't do that anymore. What I do now is I finance as much as I can and take that money that I would have put for the car and do smart investing and just am smart with that, because when you look at it, my first Model S I paid cash for. I don't remember how much it was.
Was it the first one or the second? No,
The
it was
first
the first
one.
one. Yeah. So that was the 2016 S90D back in
Oh, yeah, so
June.
that one was like-
June of 2016.
Yeah, I think that one was like what, 107,
Somewhere around there, yeah.
$107,000 ish. I paid cash for it, which is great because I don't like debt. And so I didn't want that car loan or anything.
And we talked to before, we don't like subscription or monthly bills and stuff, so he paid cash.
And in the
But-
long term, I really screwed up. And I have been talked to several times from the accountant that I shouldn't be doing this. Because in reality, I could have put that into Tesla and I would have several
stock,
million.
The stock.
Yeah, Tesla
or
stock.
Or you could have bought, like Doge
Or I
was
could have
more
bought
recently.
Doge and had
Yeah.
hundreds of millions probably
Yeah.
by now.
Or lost it all.
Or lost it all.
But
I mean,
basically,
that's
yeah.
the thing is like, so I still think I'm young enough. I still have my income. I still have my day job. I still have my side businesses. So I don't really need to make sure I don't have too many liabilities, I would say. So I'm in a safe enough position to where I can take that money, invest it, and not have to worry to use that money for my car payments.
Yeah.
And that way I can make my money work for me. I've done a lot of like research and reading on all these people that do this. And I was stupid to think I didn't need to when I was younger, because that would have saved me a lot.
But the nice thing is, at least in the past, when we did buy our Teslas that we did finance, they had really low interest rates too. So I mean, it was like 1.49 or 1.7 or something like that. So we were paying hardly anything over the course of the loan. And I did put a large amount of money down on my first Model S, which was an S90D in December of 2016. But going forward, I would again probably finance a little bit more instead of putting all that cash down, because I could have, like you said, we could have been millionaires if we had known and timed the market right.
Yeah. So
But we still invest in other things too. You don't have to just invest in Tesla or these other things that you are going to skyrocket. If you just put it back into the regular market, things have gone up greatly over the past year or so.
Exactly. So I now work a little bit smarter and listen to the accountant a little bit more and hopes to have my money make me more money. That's the game plan. Rob said, are we paying the $10 data plan for the Model Y yet, or will we? On the Model 3, I do not pay it. The Model Y, I still have free until
like probably
July, June,
somewhere around there.
It's coming up. I can look that up actually real quick. But I have that free.
Oh no, it would be June, because I think we took delivery. The first one was like March. So I think I had the month wrong earlier when I said the video for your opening up the frunk, but that would have been in like March, and then the next one would have been like June.
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up right now.
So I guess that would be
basically
that would be expiring soon.
July 1st it expires.
Yeah, so through June.
I will be paying that because I can't stand not looking at satellite image maps. And I do use like
the Spotify
and all that in the car.
It's just a lot easier because it's integrated.
Yeah.
And because like otherwise you have to put the car in drive, then change it back, drive away, put it back in Wi-Fi. And, it's a little bit of an inconvenience. Fortunately, on the Model S, both of the Model S's that we have, they still are grandfathered in with the free premium connectivity for life. So that's kind of a little benefit there. When we do get a new Model S, it's not going to have that. I guess we might have to pay that $10 a month on those.
Yeah. Now, I don't like the subscriptions, but to be honest, I would much rather pay $10 a month than have to look at non-satellite images.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that screen looks so good, and I don't, like, I love the satellite images.
I wish they had like a deal though that if you prepaid the year, you get like a month free.
Exactly,
because
because I would do that, 100%.
So cross your fingers. Maybe that'll come eventually.
Maybe if you're listening, Tesla, you could do a lot with all that money up front.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, you could make your money work for you.
Unless
they bought Bitcoin,
or they might not be allowed to realize that until
true.
They might have to do it a month at a time.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Great question though. Let's see where we are at now. Where were we? I'm at like, I guess I'm almost like caught up.
Yeah, my thing got messed up and I can't. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we've kind of answered everything. If we haven't answered your question yet, drop it in chat again. Really apologize if we missed some. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for mentioning. We did recently surpass 80,000 subscribers.
We forgot. We haven't.
And we hit 10,000 on Twitter.
Wow. Some monumental things.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep that push until you get 100,000.
Yeah, we are going for that. Actually, we're just gonna keep going because we're having a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, and speaking of Chris, I saw that they're like currently building at least 2, maybe a 3rd supercharger, and I know he knows about
this
it.
This is Chris Tech.
Oh, the other Chris. Okay, sorry. We have a couple different.
We got a
Chris's.
couple Chris's, but yes, in Michigan they are building some other.
So up in the Upper Peninsula, a lot of people have been wanting for years to be able to drive those on Teslas easily. I mean, you could do it if you drove slow and planned accordingly. But now there's a couple superchargers under construction in the Upper Peninsula, so make it a lot easier to transfer or to drive across that state.
Yes.
And a 3rd one's on the way, but I don't think they've started construction on that one yet.
Yep. Let's see. Gabriel said they saw the test model in Fort Lauderdale. It was fire. Yeah, so I saw someone on Instagram posted the Model S refresh in Fort Lauderdale. And yes, it looks amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on one. But I don't know. For a while there, I was kind of just getting discouraged because we had no news and it had been several months already.
Yeah.
But it's kind of building back up.
We have hopefully in coming weeks we'll see that.
Yes.
Diego, I saw he said he ordered the Tasmanian spoiler and used your 10% code.
Woo, woo.
Oh, so
awesome. Hopefully
that's
you
a nice
enjoy
spoiler.
it. If you have any questions installing, definitely hit me up. Yeah. Let's see. I have actually heard the refresh Model S's that, I mean, this is kind of like unconfirmed, but I've heard that they're not going to be putting them in showrooms right away. That all the ones that they are building are supposed to be for customer deliveries.
Yeah, because they have such a backlog of demand.
And it makes sense too, because if they can get them delivered by the end of the quarter, that's money they can realize versus money they can have sit there.
Yeah.
And they haven't sold an S or X new, like a refresh one. They had a couple in inventory, but I imagine the inventory's been depleted. That, I mean, in like 5 months. So they really want to try to start turning those back up because S and X are higher profit margin cars. And now the prices have gone back up on them. It's been kind of a wild ride with those. Oh no! What are you doing?
Tom, well, you haven't seen it yet.
Oh
so
no!
Maybe
he's reaching for the money.
A couple
gun.
of people. Well, we'll answer one more question before we get to that.
Okay.
But we have no update on our Model X. A couple of people are saying, when is the X coming out? When's the X coming out? We unfortunately don't have any update on that. No delivery date, but we've heard it's going to be more like 4th quarter or beginning of next year. So thanks to Tom's Turbo Garage for the $10 super chat.
David loves that thing. Absolutely loves it.
The nice thing is we can use it. The dogs don't get as startled. They always would come in and do a safety check whenever we did the other things, but we might still use those on occasion. But thank you very much to Tom's Turbo Garage for that supercharge.
Funny though, so it actually came with fake money, but this fake money doesn't say it's fake anywhere on it. Normally it says like motion picture money.
Oh yeah.
This doesn't say that.
It's pretty authentic, but are the serial numbers the same? I haven't even checked. Oh, it's the same serial numbers. So.
328B.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't try passing those bills anyway.
Not gonna try spending that. Thank you, Tom, for the $10 super chat. Said just wanted to see the money shooter again. Also super excited for the June 3rd event.
At this rate, we might have to get additional ones just so we can like.
Oh yeah, you can do 2 at once. That'd be fun. It's a lot quieter option, and I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
We have some other
and
really
it shows
good
up better on
ideas.
camera versus those little the
Yeah.
pop things that shoot the confetti. Depending on your camera and stuff like that, you
Yeah.
can't necessarily. This you can see, but we do still have the virtual confetti as well.
Yes. Ta-da! Thank you though so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that, Tom. Let's see. Mark said it. Nobody would consider a Cybertruck has a clue what a real truck is or what even exists. The F-150 is the only option for a real truck owner. A Cybertruck is just an SUV, not a truck.
Well, I think it depends
Well-
because people buy vehicles for different
True.
things. I know a lot of people buy trucks and they just drive them around town and they've never towed a single thing in their life.
Yeah.
You know, so I think. But if you want a real truck that's towing a huge trailer or something like that, or you need to go off road, then I don't know. I guess it remains to be seen what the Cybertruck will offer.
Yeah. I don't know. There was some...
But I think it would fit our needs.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's because we have been doing a lot of house renovation stuff.
Anything we would do, we just need a little bit more cargo space. And while we have
Exactly.
the S, it has a lot of cargo space. The Y has a lot of cargo space.
I don't want to ruin those because that's
Yeah.
the interior too.
The interior. So a Cybertruck would fit, but also it would allow us to tow campers and stuff like that, which we're not going to be, going off-roading much. We don't have that planned, I guess. But,
I do. Yeah. Lol. Anyway, Arash, hopefully I said that right. Said nice haircut, guys. Why, thank you
Well,
for
thank you.
noticing.
Yeah, today was haircut day.
Today was haircut day. We pulled out the Floby.
Yeah.
And
And another wall trimmer.
here we go. Thank you for noticing, though.
Might need a little touch up, but it's pretty good overall.
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't
show that. That's why I have to sit like this because this side, which is good. You messed up this side and not this side, so we're good there. George, thank you for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate that.
Gets
Said any idea when the V11 software update will come?
Maybe June 3rd.
My guess is going to be we're going to see it June 3rd. Now, when it's rolled out to the rest of the fleet, my guess would be a couple months after we see it, or at least a month after we see it on the new S's. I don't think they're going to do it immediately because I think they want to kind of create that hype
exclusivity
and exclusivity for people buying the newer cars.
But also the new cars need this.
Exactly,
because
they need it.
It's the first time the S will have a horizontal screen and a third screen, I guess, because it's already had the second screen with the instrument cluster, but now having that third screen in the second row, they need software to support that.
Yeah, so
I think we will
I think
see
it's going to be exclusive for a little while.
Yeah, so it should be out on the new S on delivery day.
Yes.
Assuming that's June 3rd when the event is scheduled.
Yep. So I am super, super excited for that because it looks like you're going to have tiles and you're going to be able to move things easier.
Hopefully that's the case.
Hopefully it's a lot more
we've seen that
user-friendly.
with some other manufacturers, they have features like that in their firmware. So hopefully Tesla is going to be adding that to theirs as well.
Fingers crossed. Let's see. Yeah, so someone else asked a question for Model S. Do we have an idea what month will be out in Model X? So yeah, Model S in June, starting.
Hopefully June.
And then Model X, I don't know.
We haven't heard any updates. A lot of people are
Yeah.
saying they were told like October, November, December. Other people are saying January of next year. We don't have any date on ours. We did place our Model X reservation though back in December of last year, so we're hoping that kind of puts us at the front of the line, and that people who are ordering 6 months later aren't going to be getting theirs. Good for them if they do get one. But we've been waiting 6 months, so hopefully we won't be at the end of the line.
Yeah, now looking at the actual order page, if you order one today, it says January to February for long range or Plaid. Now, in terms of what our account says, I have it. It's thinking. I'm clicked on it. It's just taking forever to load. I will follow up with that when it loads, and I'll let you know if we. Oh, wait, it's loading. Estimated delivery date dash. So at least we have a dash on there. Oh, he's so excited for this. Go ahead and do it.
Okay, here's thanks to EvQ Hair for $5 super chat. Heard the Roadster. I think they mean Roadster, but they heard the Roadster is going to be 0-6. Yeah, we talked about that earlier when we were doing the news. Less than 1.5 seconds, maybe even 1.1 seconds using that SpaceX package.
And they also said, does it come with life insurance because the G-force will kill us?
Those are some really
think
good seats and headrests.
Elon mentioned something about the G-Force. Let me pull up his Twitter real quick. Because I don't remember what exactly he said, but I'm pretty sure he said something about it. I think he just compared it to like a high-power roller coaster.
Definitely, though, you want to put your head back.
So when I did the test ride, it was listed at 1.9 seconds or something like that. And the gentleman driving has actually done a lot of work with Tesla. And he was like, just make sure you put your head back. I actually have a video on that test ride. So feel free to check it out on YouTube. But he was like, just make sure you put your head back and everything. And then he was like, are you ready? And then just like 3, 2, 1, go. And that thing kicked. I can't imagine 1.1
like twice
seconds.
as quick, yeah.
That just like
Half as much time almost.
it still boggles my mind to this day.
And so that was back at the Tesla Semi event. If you're looking for that, you might have had a separate video, but back
I think I did a separate video.
Tesla Semi event back in 2017 or something, in
Yeah,
like
let
November,
me see.
December 2017. They had that surprise. The one more thing at that event was the next gen Roadster, and I think Eric did do a second video for that later on, just showing his test ride in that.
I actually have it right here.
People who
I'll drop it in chat.
Oh yeah, so basically this is the video of the Eric getting the test ride on that event.
And my face going.
So check that video out after the live stream.
Yeah.
And but yeah, people were asking earlier too, do we think there will be something at the Model S event? I don't know, because I always like surprises, but if I anticipate one, then it seems like I'm setting myself up for a disappointment. So
True.
So I'm gonna assume we're not gonna have a surprise, and if there is one, I'll be extra surprised.
There you go.
So.
Now, Elon responded to some people here on Twitter talking about all this. Let's see. Zach had said 1.1 second, 0 to 60 time is insane. Is this true? Elon said yes.
Wow.
With the SpaceX rocket thruster option package, it will be safe, but very intense. Probably not wise for those with a medical condition. Same as
With a what condition?
Medical condition.
Oh, medical, okay.
Same as hardcore roller coaster. Now, I will say, I don't know if you've noticed, the past like couple weeks have been a little light on the videos. And if you noticed me during the Ford reveal, I was doing a lot of this.
Chair rotation.
I don't know exactly what happened. It happened a couple years back, but somehow I messed up
Hopefully
my neck.
it wasn't the Roadster.
No. It was before that.
Okay.
Somehow I messed up my neck, and every couple months it kind of really flares up, and I have a hard time moving it. I've been doing physical therapy and everything, and I can kind of do this a little bit better. But I need to make sure my neck is in good condition by the time I get my Roadster.
Yes.
So we got a lot of work to do on my neck. So yeah, I had x-rays done and I have MRIs this week, and fingers crossed we're okay, because we need to be good for this Roadster. I don't want to get a car and not be able to utilize it, because that would be sad. Let's see. A lot of talk about that.
But there's still a lot of discussion about Cybertruck versus the F-150 Lightning. We do have reservations for 2 Cybertrucks, one dual motor, one tri-motor, which we made on the day at the event while we were standing, at the event. We did put in the reservation for the F-150 Lightning as well. 2 very different vehicles. As to which one we'll take delivery of, probably whichever one comes first. But if the F-150 is first, we're still going to get a Cybertruck. But if we do get one, we're going to have to do some comparison videos. Now, if the Cybertruck comes out before the F-150, I don't know if we're still going to go ahead with the F-150. Because again, for our needs, the Cybertruck with that 500-mile range is going to be what we would prefer to have.
Exactly.
And it fits our needs. I mean, again, the F-150, different audience, different vehicle. But I don't think we would have both of them.
No, we don't really need both. I would be interested to check out the Ford. Maybe, if anything, they can give me like a press car, unlike what they did with the Mach-E. That would be nice to just check it out for a little while. John said, I'm researching Tesla for a new vehicle. If you had to choose, would you go with the Model 3 or Model Y, and why?
I think we'd both choose the Model Y.
Yes.
Just because it's a little newer. I mean, they have brought some of the newer technology that was introduced on the Y. They've brought it back down to the 3, but the Y just has more room. It's a higher seating position. The rear seat has a lot more leg room if you're in the second row. And just because it's a hatchback, it's a lot more versatile because you can fit a lot more cargo in there. The one thing with the Model 3 is the trunk. It limits, and we don't have a pickup truck, so we live with our hatchbacks. And the Model Y allows us to fit, big screen TVs or pieces of furniture, ladders. We can fit all kinds of stuff in there that wouldn't necessarily fit in a Model 3. And again, the Model 3 is still a great car, but we just it's only a little bit increase in price for the Model Y, and it just gives you a lot more cargo space and also room for the dogs, because we do have 2 large dogs that they really wouldn't be able to fit in the Model 3.
I don't think we even tried because it would just not work out.
Or
well.
with the Y though, we could at least have like 1 seat down, and we could fit people in the second row and have the dogs in the back.
Yeah.
But with the trunk, we wouldn't be able to have the dogs in there.
Yep. So I'm exact same with him. I would, if I could only get one, I would prefer the Y probably.
Of those 2, yep.
And it's just because it matches our needs better. Yeah. Maybe you don't need any of that, and you don't have big dogs or anything. In which case, the 3 will get you a little bit further and is a little bit cheaper.
Yep.
So
and we still have a Model 3 in the garage as well, and so we just don't drive it as much because for what we need, the Model Y range is almost as good as the Model 3 range.
Yeah.
So we just don't drive that 3, which I think we're gonna put it back up for sale.
Yes, it is hitting the market back tomorrow.
It's still a great car.
John, thank you for a $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. Let's give you some money. It said, put the Tesla logo on the side of the F-150 box. Yeah, that's fine. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what was that again?
He said, put the Tesla logo on the side of the F-150 box, like in the rear, like we do with our Teslas.
Yeah.
Just put the Tesla logo on it. That would be funny. I was actually thinking about that. Like, what would I do with other cars if I got them, and how would I wrap them? But that's actually pretty funny.
That would confuse people.
That would confuse the crap out of people, and that would be fun.
Because we do have, like our friend Doug has a Chevy Spark EV, which I think it's like a 93-mile range, which is it's a nice little car for like local drives. But he has customized it, so it's got like the Tesla logo, it's got a dual motor badge, and he's doing a lot of work on that.
It's hilarious.
He's upgraded, he's got like the red brake caliper, so he's done a lot of work on his car. And since the Electrify America charger is right next to the Lakewood Supercharger, a lot of people see his car there and they're like, wait, is that a Tesla? And so it gets a lot of questions, I think. So if we did that with like a Ford and put on some Tesla logos, that's going to confuse a lot of people.
It would be funny just to trigger people. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely crossed my mind because I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, if I get any other brand, like, what am I going to do? Thank you, though, for the $2 super chat, John. I appreciate that. Jimmy said, good evening, guys. Jimmy from Connecticut ordered a white Model Y long range and have to take delivery in New York because Tesla doesn't have a license to sell in Connecticut. Have you ever heard of that? Yes, unfortunately, you are in, I think, one of 2 or 3 states.
There's a few states, because, I don't know if Michigan is still that way, but I know for the longest time, Michigan, you couldn't take delivery, and even in Texas, I think you could take delivery there, but you couldn't buy one there, but you had to pay for it in advance. So it's odd, it's sad, it's unfortunate that there's
still
very
stupid
states out there, and it's because of your local legislators have been listening to the auto dealers in your state and who have paid them, lobbying fees to pass laws saying that they're not allowed to buy a Tesla. So it's very unfortunate. Hopefully that changes in the future. And Tesla has come up with, what's their website that they have now, trying to get more Tesla owners involved in, they kind of got rid of their forums, but they
look real quick.
Engage? Is it Engage?
There's like Tesla Listens
or is it engage.tesla.com or something like that, or something like. But basically, they're trying to get people to talk with their local legislators.
Oh yes, it's engage.tesla.com.
Yeah, and basically that's something. Go to that site, check it out, and see if you can get involved with other Tesla owners in your state, and then if enough people contact your local legislators, maybe you can get those laws changed. It's kind of the same way with like the referral program that Tesla's had for years. There's some states that don't allow people to take advantage of those referral prizes or codes, and that's really unfortunate. But again, it's because laws in those states prevent you. Tesla would like to have those same benefits for everyone, but some states and even Canadian provinces don't allow those because of legislation.
Yeah, so actually, if you go to engage.tesla.com, it says right here, it's talking about the Texas bill that proposes new annual EV fees. In New York, it talks about some different legislation there. And actually, there's Connecticut, SB 127, right here. And it says you can contact your reps here, make your voice heard by contacting your state senators. SB127, a solution that would bring Tesla and other EV manufacturers,
There you
not
go.
just Tesla, to Connecticut, has been advanced out of the Transportation Committee and is now being debated by members of the Senate. And thank
Yeah,
you for
it's-
considering them. So definitely check this out, especially like if your state is one of these that has some kind of weird
laws,
quirk
like
or
antiquated
law.
laws. Because again, some of these laws have been around for like 100 years. Because that just when cars were first being built and delivered, they wanted to have some consumer protections. But in the days of the internet and stuff like that, these antiquated laws are no longer needed, and they're only being used because dealership lobbyists are
Making money
yeah,
and paying a bunch of money to make sure that they continue to keep their pocket full.
yeah.
So definitely check that out though. Let's see. King, Nip, and Erica said, "I'm sorry, but is that a real Tesla supercharger that works?"
This is a real V2
It is
Tesla
real.
supercharger. So you can tell it's V2 because it's got this really thick, heavy cable. It lights up. It does. We do not have the hardware to actually charge a car with this. It's the shell that you will see installed at a supercharger site. So we've taken the part. We have a video for that. Eric can drop the link for that.
I'll drop it.
But basically, it was back in the day when Tesla only had the Model S. Even before they had the Model X, they had these in stores in their galleries and like malls. And it was to get people familiarized because the supercharger network was brand new and people were buying a car and not knowing how they would be able to charge it on a road trip. So Tesla put these in stores just as a demo and to show people how they could plug in. And as Tesla started adding new models such as the Model X and then the Model 3, they no longer had room in those stores for these display superchargers, and they were just throwing them out. And somebody found this supercharger. Was it Arizona? I don't remember.
I think it might have been Arizona, but they found it at like next to the dumpster because the stores were getting rid of it to make room for cars. Tesla had already been out for a while. People were a little bit more familiar, and they were getting rid of it. And somebody found it and put it on eBay, and then I bought it. And Tesla, like, I don't think it like anything bad about it because Tesla knows I have it. They have never complained about it. I mean, if somebody finds something in the trash, I think can legally take that.
Yeah, but basically we took it apart in the video that Eric dropped the link for, and it's got all the stuff. People like the word innards, which I like using.
Oh,
but
yeah,
you
that's a
can
good
see
one.
where they connect all the wiring and stuff, and you can see how the cables connect on the inside. It does not have the liquid supercharging, which is in V3 superchargers, and those are in V3 superchargers. You'll see if you ever see one of those with the shell off, or when they're installing those, they will have little fans down here at the bottom, and the coolant runs through, and they will have a much thinner cable on V3 superchargers.
Yeah.
But so this is a V2, and so we've had it for several years now.
Yeah, and it's heavy because this was a store display, so that
Yeah.
whole base
So-
is steel.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know if this is fiberglass or some sort
I
of
think it says
plastic
just
molded
ABS.
Yeah, but it's not tons, but there's a lot of metal stuff because again, where you would connect all the cabling and stuff in there for using the supercharger.
Yep.
And
Cool thing,
also, while we're talking about that, this couch is a Model X third row seat. We have two of these that Eric got from some totaled Model X's, and he put on a base, and we turned them into couches. I mean, we don't like sit and watch TV, but whenever we are doing our live stream, we have this fully functional, it's got seat belts.
The only thing we don't have functionally yet is the USB, but we need to work on that.
That
still.
should be pretty easy, but we just haven't done it. But it also does have functional cup holders built right in.
We have Kit telling us it is dinner
Yes.
time.
Getting close, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
he likes the word
Foods. Yeah, foods. Yeah.
dinner. Yeah, foods. Kit, look this way. It's the foods. Oh no, he's like, what? Where?
Yeah.
Yeah. I dropped that link down below
Oh.
though. Oh, you just smacked your
He
ear.
just
buddy.
shook his head and his ear hit the desk.
You
That probably
okay?
didn't feel good. Oh, there he goes again.
I dropped the link for that video for the supercharger down below if you want to check it out. Let's see. Somebody said they think they will show us the Cybertruck updated version.
That would be nice because we were talking about that.
Yes.
So after we saw the F-150 Lightning unveiling last Wednesday, we learned everything about it like right before that event and right during the event, and we were pleasantly surprised to hear about like all the power outlets and the vehicle to home functionality and stuff like that. So I'm hoping we will get some new Cybertruck announcements soon because Elon had mentioned that they're going to be talking about updated features and stuff for the Cybertruck. So maybe we'll be hearing about those soon too.
Yeah.
Because there's some features that they have that are better than the Lightning, but they are kind of lacking in some things. So it'd be cool if we could hear that, if it's not being in production yet, they can maybe move a few things around and add a few new features.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's the big hope. Let's see. Tippo Master said, my brain can't even imagine 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds. I'm right there with you. Said, I wonder if the tires keep traction the whole time with the thruster package. So in theory, and how everything has worked out so far, tire traction can't really take a car below 1.9 seconds because you lose traction.
Typically.
So I would imagine they would still be able to free roll, but they're not going to really do much. That's the issue. So you got to be careful going at that speed that quick. Bunch of people saying, chiropractor, have you seen one? And glad I'm feeling better. Thank you for the love. Yeah, so I've been to my doctor. I've been to physical therapy. And
also your special little TENS unit.
Oh yeah, and I bought a TENS unit, and that's fun. I just like put them like right here, and it's like, gee, that's kind of fun.
That basically just sends a little electrical pulses through there. So
we're working on it. My doctor is like a neck and back spine specialist as well, and so he's suggested a lot of things. I said to really build up my muscles in like my neck and upper back. So maybe I'm gonna get like super ripped. This could be the motivation right there. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. Like last week week before last was really, really tough for me to do pretty much anything. So here we are though. We are getting better. Let's see. Sean said, with how Tesla heavy your channel is, you'd think Ford wouldn't want to give you press car to showcase your Tesla heavy audience. I mean, yes and no. Some companies have reached out to work, and some just don't want to. But like other YouTubers with extremely Tesla heavy audiences have been able to get their hands on one too. So I don't know what it is.
And we did a video a couple weeks back on the new Polestar 2.
Yeah.
And that was a nice vehicle. We really liked it. It looked nice. We didn't like the range. It was like only 233 miles on that. Again, might be good for around town, but that's going to be a little more difficult to do road trips in.
Yeah.
But we're definitely open to checking out other vehicles. So if they will speak with us and they will let us test drive them, we'll do that.
Yeah, you bet.
We like checking out the competition when it comes out. So.
Yeah. George said, where did you get that Tesla LED logo on your wall?
Well, that's actually not on the wall. That's part of the...
Oh,
that?
that?
This is actually the top of the Supercharger.
Yeah,
so
that's built in the Supercharger. The one in the garage, I actually cut that out of wood, but it's not LED.
Yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, that's part of the Supercharger.
Yeah.
It does actually kind of look like the wall. I can see that. Where are we at? A little this and that said, amazing how Elon is big enough to congratulate competitors like Virgin, Rocket Lab, VW, and Ford for a good accomplishment, but hasn't seen it in return. Exactly. And another reason, though, I have a little beef with Ford is like the CEO and the product designer and everything. They have been bad-mouthing a lot of Tesla lately on Twitter. And it's like, you just need to knock it off. If you have a better product, bring it to market and let people decide. No need to bash other companies or any of that. I've never played business like that, and I think it's shady. And to me, when companies start doing that, it tells you they know their product sucks, and the only way they can try to win market share is if they bash the competitors. So I don't like it when people do that, and I have not worked with companies because they do that. I'm not afraid to say that. So yeah, here we are. A lot of talk about Cybertruck. Yes, super excited for it. We do have the 2 on order. No idea when we'll get them though. That's the only downside.
And again, a lot of people talking about it, and they're kind of deciding, what they don't know what it provides versus like the F-150. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more news on that, because I mean it's got some pretty beefy tires on there, and the suspension is amazing. Remember how they could raise it up and lower it way down, and so that could, I think they could do some off-roading on that in a Cybertruck.
Yeah. Ken said, did you already review why my Model 3 delivery keeps getting pushed out? So a lot of people are in that same boat, and by the sounds of it, like there's roughly 10,000 Model 3s and Ys built that are waiting on a potential firmware update to be able to deliver them. Now, there's no official word, but speculation is they might be going to Purevision We don't know how that would exactly work. Maybe they're getting away from the radar and they're just waiting on things to be finalized.
Yeah, so
it could be something else.
It could be
though.
firmware, or it could totally just be a hardware thing. So it
Exactly.
could be that they don't have a radar and they just need the radar installed, or it could be some other part like the full self-driving computer,
Or it could be a trim piece.
a piece of trim. Yeah, we don't know.
But definitely, while I know exactly where you're coming from, it's very frustrating to have that keep being pushed out. At the end of the day, just know that you will be getting a very great Tesla, and it is going to put a smile on your face every day.
It
once
is
you drive
interesting
it.
to see, though. I do see people talking about their estimated delivery dates, and even Amy, I think, said from
Yes.
June 3rd. So why not June 1st?
Yes.
So it's interesting that
Everything
delivery's
else is June 3rd.
So something's happening June 3rd that might be part of that announcement. So maybe it is just a firmware update. We'll find out in the coming days.
It could be this Purevision thing is really holding true, especially with Amy's delivery date of June 3rd. Wow. I didn't think about that. It's all coming together. May said, got my friend interested in solar, but he lives in Alabama. Not only do they not have any incentives, they actually tax solar.
Some of those southern states are
Really?
really bad, or they charge you like an insane amount, like per kilowatt of your system, and you have to pay that as like your minimum bill.
That's stupid.
It's crazy that how against solar they are. Again, it's because of the lobbyists and the utilities and stuff like that. They definitely need to get. Hopefully, kind of like we talked about with Engage, they can get the solar laws changed in those states as well.
That's messed
And
up.
congratulations to Mace again, because he recently had
That
his
solar roof?
solar roof installed. Looks an amazing install. He had some old solar panels removed, had a new solar roof installed. He still has he has a nice patio, like canopy or something
Yep.
that has solar, like dual face. I forget what the word is, but it's a nice little solar system.
It's a great setup.
Big solar system there,
Yeah.
and several power walls. So I'm definitely jealous of his solar roof. It looks really nice.
Yeah, we would love the solar roof, but unfortunately, it would cost too much for what we want because we do have a lot of.
Well, we already
roof.
have solar, and it's still perfectly
Yeah.
good. It's going to be good for the next 20-something years. It doesn't really make sense to remove it.
Yeah.
But if we were to move someplace and set up someplace else,
Maybe.
then we could. Or in 20 years, maybe, or 10 years, maybe we'll consider it. But for now, we're sticking with our solar panels, 63 solar panels.
Yeah. Slew Dog said, do you think resale values will take a hit on Model 3 or Y without the 4680 batteries? Would imagine better range on the 4680 cars will be more desired. So the thing I think is, I think Tesla is going to potentially use the 4680s on the 3 and the Y, but I don't think they're going to max out the battery for range. They'll probably keep
Not
range
initially.
similar
Yeah.
to what it is now. So I don't think you're really going to see any kind of hit, to be honest.
Because again, I think we're going to put those in the more expensive vehicles like the S and the X, and so they do put them in the Y. Like Eric said, probably fewer cells, so it would have the same range as today, but they could put in half the size battery, so that way they could maybe build 2 cars instead of 1, or 1.5 cars. So that way those batteries just spread to that much more Model Ys.
Exactly. Thomas Lee said, love the content. Big fan of the Model 3. Thinking about becoming a Tesla driver in the future. Congratulations. Teslas are great.
Yeah, and let us know if you have any questions. That's what we're here for, to answer any questions you might have about Tesla and maybe some other vehicles as well.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we're pretty much caught up. There's been some other chatter about steel and all kinds of stuff, but
Yeah, that's one thing people have been wondering about with the Cybertruck. Will there be any price changes? Because a lot of people, there's hundreds and thousands of reservations, and those were made, over the past 2 years and a year and a half. And it remains to be seen, with prices going up, will Tesla be able to still sell the car at the prices that they came out with?
yeah.
Because 80,000, and while it's still not cheap, that's for a car with a 500-mile range. That's a pretty good price point.
You bet. But yeah, I think since we're kind of caught up, it's basically doggies dinner time is normally at 7, so we're a little bit past their dinner, and as you saw, Kit was kind of hungry. He was coming in.
Kit.
So we'll probably call it there, but really appreciate everyone hanging out and the super chats. Really appreciate you guys. Again, though, not required to participate in chat or anything. So just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. And huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. Wow, I don't know where it is. It's right here. For sponsoring the channel and helping make all this possible. If you guys are looking to accessorize your Model S, X, 3, or Y. Definitely check them out. All linked down below. And using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. A couple really fun products coming up. We're actually testing some.
We've had one for a couple, was it weeks or months? We've had it for a while. And it's really nice.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a month.
I can't remember when you installed it, but it was
and
a
we
couple
just
weeks
got another one this week. So some really cool products coming
that
up.
one I remember. I got to
Yeah.
see that one the other day.
So a couple really fun products coming up. Can't wait to show you guys those. And yeah, we might have another video or so this week, maybe. And then we'll do live stream on the May 30th. And then hopefully we'll either be at the delivery event on June 3rd or live stream it from the house. So either way, if they're doing something like that, we will make sure we are covering that. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We will see you guys next time. Bye.